Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh Singh and in this video we shall discuss the feature news for today, that is 28th of December 2021, which is on India's strategic interest in Central Asia region. This is in context of India-Central Asia dialogue which was recently held for the third time, right? So in this context we will understand in totality what is the kind of relationship that India has with Central Asia. What are the ways in which India can enhance its relationship? What are the countering parties, countries like China, BRI, Russia, what are their major concerns? What is the recent initiative with Taliban in which all the parties have got different stakes, all the Central Asian parties have got different stakes, and how we can have a better relationship with Central Asia. So before we proceed with this discussion, let me quickly welcome all the people here. Hi Nitin, good evening to you. Good evening Netra. Hello. Bhavani, good evening. Hi Amlan. Hello Preeti. Hi Asim. Hi Ashish. Good evening Manvendra. Good evening to all of you. Right. So as we have all known what Central Asia region stands for, let me show you in this image. Central Asia is designated as that part of Asia which primarily constitutes of these 5 countries erstwhile part of USSR. Right now, independent nations. We are talking of 2 Ks, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, 1 U, Uzbekistan, and 2 Ts, right? So if I enlarge this map to use for you to see, this is a K, another K, and then U and T. This is cut, K, U and T. This is how you can remember the names. Kazakhstan and KA, Tajikistan, TA. This is how they are opposite to each other, right? So they cut here as well, right? So this is how you should remember: Kazakhstan to the left, but Tajikistan to the right, and Turkmenistan to the left, right? So these are the 5 Central Asian countries that we are going to talk about and the relationship that they have with India and other countries in the region. See, another country in the region is Russia. Erstwhile part of the USSR, all these countries, would not Russia influence the policies in these countries? Absolutely it would. What about the influence of China? China is increasing the presence in Central Asian countries going towards Europe through Belt and Road Initiative. Again becomes very important. What should be India's role? Look at the kind of confluence this particular region has, right? This particular region. This is where you see mixing of at least 6-7 different countries, at least. So we have all the 5 Central Asian countries, including Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and China. We have 9 countries here. So this is the reason that the Gilgit-Baltistan region becomes very important for India. Right now, not under the control of India, but becomes very important because through this we link directly to Afghanistan, which links to Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and then China as well. See? So therefore, the significance of Central Asia is in many folds. Not only to be able to have newer places to trade with, not only to trade, not only to explore the energy resources, petroleum, oil, gases, nuclear, iron, aluminium, copper. These are the kind of resources all this region has. Not only to be able to explore them, conduct trade, have energy resources, have people-to-people ties extended to these countries, cultural ties, but also to be able to have a strategic presence in Central Asia. This is what all the countries are trying to do. So in this slide, we will understand the basic context in which all these different countries are operating. See, this is the region which has not a very big population, but a population of around 70 million. 70 million only. 70 million is 7 crore. You include 2 cities like Delhi, and this is all Central Asia for you, right? 5 countries, and the economy is not very strong, but yes, they are full of resources and a very strategic position they hold in the Asian West and the Central Asian region. Therefore, they become very important. Why? You see, in the map, they link the East Asia or South Asia to countries in Europe. A direct linkage from Central Asia to Europe. The European countries, right from here, and they also link to the West Asia also in some way or the other. For China especially, India's linkage is through Pakistan, which wouldn't provide it the way. So India will also be able to link through Central Asia. See, is it not important? Yes, it is. So it provides a valuable linkage for India and other countries, right? And therefore, before understanding India's stand, let us quickly look at what is happening here. So when you look at the map here, this is how China is trying to expand its outreach. See, maritime Silk Route and the Silk Route through and the economic corridor on the continental side, right? So one of them is China-Pakistan economic corridor. This is the Central China West Asia economic corridor. Similarly, then we have another economic corridor. This is the extension of the Asian corridor towards the west, right? Another corridor. See, what I want to say is that this part, if you look at this part, this is the Central Asian region, and there are 3 economic corridors passing from this region. This is the kind of influence China has. What is the kind of influence India has? India is a participant in Ashgabat Agreement. Capital of which country? Ashgabat Agreement. India has some stakes at Chabahar port in Iran, in Persia. Chabahar port. India also wants to partner with these Central Asian countries to increase its outreach, right? Direct outreach. How? Not through Pakistan, but through the Chabahar port. So it wants Chabahar port to be a part of Ashgabat Agreement. This is an agreement in certain Eurasian countries, countries which form part of Europe and Asia region. They want to integrate the multimodal transport from India to Europe, right? So going from India to Iran, from India to Iran, and after that linking to various places through Caspian Sea, and then going further west. If we have an infrastructure setup for road, we can have infrastructure setup for pipeline as well. If we have pipeline, we can have people moving ahead. So this is why India initiated 4C policy, 4C policy with the Central Asian economies, right? And this is what gives us the context to understand the kind of relationship that we share with them, right? So the 4C relationship is about increasing commerce, capacity, connectivity, and contact. How do you remember this? Not very tough. Remember, we had seen the 4Cs, 4 challenges: counter terrorism, China itself, COVID, and there was another one. What is it? There were 4 of these challenges. Similarly, when you look at 4Cs, 4 different Cs, you should look at commerce. Commerce means trade, right? If we want to have trade, we will need to have connectivity. We will need to have contact, connectivity, contact, and capacity. So connectivity is the physical connectivity, presence of road. Contact is people to people ties. And the 4th one being a capacity enhancement. Capacity enhancement means presently the level of trade that these 2 regions carry out, you will be not very pleased to know it is hardly $2 billion. And this is what it was 5 years back also. $2 billion, both the regions. Despite having huge potential with gas and petroleum resources, with mineral resources, India has not been able to exploit this. Who has been? China has been. Why? Because of Belt and Road Initiative. So while China had around $25 to $30 billion trade with them 5 years back, their investment and trade has increased to $100 billion. See, 3 to 4 times in the last 5 years. India is still stagnant because China's increased presence in this area. In fact, ये जो 4C है ना, ये इंडिया का नहीं है. This is better for China. I'm just using sarcasm, right? The point is we should have increased commerce, right? If we have increased commerce, we need to have increased contact of people, increased connectivity, and capacity building. Capacity building is what I was focusing on, which China has built, India has not built. But these 5 states have got different stakes. This is also true, right? So when you look at the map here of how these states link to Afghanistan, this is also very, very pertinent in these times. So when we look at the connectivity of these states, these are 3 random pointers, but very, very important. When we look at how they connect to Afghanistan, there is a direct connectivity of Turkmenistan with Afghanistan. Kazakhstan has a better relationship with Russia. So the stand of Russia and Kazakhstan is very similar when we talk about Afghanistan, right? So they want to become friends with the Taliban. This is the thing. But certain countries have issues. For example, Tajikistan has an issue, right? Because of the Tajiki population, which is getting exploited in Afghanistan in the hands of Taliban. So Tajikistan has an issue with them. Turkmenistan has entered into a separate contract with Afghanistan, with Taliban. So all these 5 Central Asian economies, which are considered to be unified, they are actually not unified. Some of them, in fact, many of them have internal border disputes also with themselves. Just like India, Pakistan, it is not as worse, but it is escalating. So since the borders are not marked, and you have to see the kind of territories they have, right? One protruding or intruding inside the other. There are enclaves also, there are exclaves also. Exclaves, part of a country. For example, this segment will belong to Pakistan, right? This is what has happened between the relationship of Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. So one segment, this is called an exclave. For example, Pakistan's territory in India. So India will cut off its supplies of water. India will ensure that, this is only an example, India will ensure that the road Pakistan is trying to build, so that it can reach out to people, right? That road will not exist. India will ensure that the road does not get built. So this is the kind of issue that these countries are going through amidst themselves. They have got different policies, right? But they are bound through SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Turkmenistan was one of the countries which was non-aligned, completely non-aligned, but later it has also joined SCO, but they have different policies. SCO is largely a defunct organization these days, because India is also a member, Pakistan is also a member, and therefore nobody is able to function effectively in a single unipolar direction, right? So the idea is to ensure that all these countries have similar policies, similar approach. So India partnered with Central Asian countries and shared their security interest. Remember the 3 security interests India has: drug menace, humanitarian crisis, and counter-terrorism. These countries also shared the same vision with India. They also partnered in 29-point agreement with each other. What about increasing political, economic, social ties with each other, increasing commerce with each other. All these 4 C's is what they spoke of. Also, there was an invitation extended to all the republics, all the 5 republics, to join as the chief guest in the Republic Day Parade in 2021, the coming year, right? Now, this is a region which is being fought for its mineral rich capacities. Russia has its interest, because Russia, it is just the next door to Russia. And not only that, we have China, which is participating in this, right? Because of increased presence through BRI initiatives. We just saw the map also. 3 of the BRI corridors are passing through this particular region. If you are able to draw a map, it is great. You should be able to, when you get back for your note making, you should be able to make a map of their maritime belt and road initiative and the land border initiative as well, right? So the kind of participation that India and Central Asia have are based on the principles of transparency, broad participation, local priorities, financial sustainability, and respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. Now, India builds partnership on these principles, whereas China builds partnership on hegemony grounds. It wants to straight away give loans, something that those economies will not be able to return back, and then China will have further dominance over them. So China's policy is imperialistic in nature, whereas India's policy is broad participation, is transparency, local priorities, and that is why India should be in focus. But why is it not in focus? It is not in focus because of certain factors, primarily being India does initiate its policies, but it does not run them well. So while the governments do shake hand, but the businesses don't run alongside, right? Trade is promised, but it does not get initiated, right? So India has initiated $1 billion of soft loan, $1 billion of soft loan, and this is the line of credit India has offered. These countries can avail this for emergency products anytime, right? And if you see the kind of loan China offers, it is humongous, right? India did not have this policy for Central Asia in the earlier times. Because India had an association with USSR. Only after breakdown of USSR, India initiated the policy of outreach to the north, these countries in the north, right? Just like we have look east policy, we have a look north policy also. Policy for Central Asia as well, right? They speak about the same sea, four C's, you should remember that, right? So look north policy, extended neighborhood policy, connect Central Asia policy, all on the same lines. Earlier we have a neighborhood policy, but this is only for SAARC countries. Now this is an extended neighborhood policy to have a better outreach with them, right? Now, so India initiated a Central Asia Dialogue Forum in 3 years back, and now this is the third one being held. And the idea is to only get better associations with time, with finances, with cultural ties, with people-to-people contact, with better connectivity. And this region will provide better connectivity for India to Europe as well. It will also provide better connectivity when we talk of TAPI pipeline, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India pipeline. But this Pakistan entity, this is not the one which is favoring this pipeline for India, right? It goes from Turkmenistan to a place called as Fazilka in Punjab, right? And after that, domestic lines follow, right? Now see, this is where we are comparing the kind of engagements with the Central Asian region. India only $2 billion, and in 2015 China had around $25-30 billion. Now it has increased to $100 billion. India is still stagnant, right? Pakistan's hostility is one thing that India is not able to manage because of Central Asia's different stakes as well. We also have another stake infrastructure project called as the INSTC, North South Trade Corridor, Transport Corridor, right? So this is a very important corridor of which India is also a part, and this is how it is going to link. See, if you see this map, we see Mumbai and Mundra linking to Shabar, and after that there are two lines, one going to Afghanistan, right, and the other going to Turkmenistan. See, so this is the idea, and beyond Turkmenistan we also might link through the Caspian Sea to the European economies, countries like Armenia, Georgia, right, all those other countries. So this has been the plan, but yes, not functional as of now. Iran is one important partner for India. If associated well, we can link to Central Asian countries. See, so start linking the geopolitics in the region, right? India-Iran partnership. India should be able to utilize SCO for participation of these 5 countries. And India should also initiate a free trade agreement with the Eurasian Economic Union. Eurasian Economic Union has some of these Central Asian countries, some countries like Armenia and European countries, Russia also as participant. And if we have this free trade agreement, then there will be a faster and better mobility of goods, services between these economies, thus increasing the participation, mutual participation. It should be based on constructive approach, right? Something that develops both the economies. किसका नुकसान होता है? Trade करने पे किसी का नुकसान होता है? No, all the parties benefit, right? So India can indulge in that way. What have we studied in India? Central Asia relations. We have studied firstly the data about the relationship, right? The kind of trade that we carry out. $2 billion, hardly anything, right? Compared to other countries. We have studied the strategic significance of this area, right? Strategic significance. So, the passage of the economic corridors of China, India's north-south trade corridors, right? Not only that, India's linkage to Central Asia, and then passage to Europe. So largely very strategic. Not only that, the kind of minerals this area offers, we studied all this. We also studied the participation of other countries, China, Russia. We also understood the stakes of the 5 Central Asian economies, right? What about Afghanistan? What about their own security, their personal disputes? We went beyond to understand the kind of connection that India looks forward to with Central Asia. So the positivity in the ties, for example, the credit, the line of credit being offered, the 4 C's, the pillar for the relationship with Central Asia. And we also understood how it should go ahead. So one way ahead is relationship with Iran. If it prospers, we will link with Central Asia. Otherwise, only air connectivity is what remains. Relationship with Iran, this is one. The other one is using SCO, right? Defunct SCO. So these are the ways in which we can talk about India's Central Asia connectivity, right, and relationship. The question for today is, as India looks beyond its borders, Central Asia provides India with the right platform to leverage its political, economic, and cultural connections to play a leading role in Eurasia. See, as India looks beyond its borders, so not only neighborhood, the near neighborhood policy, we are talking of beyond its borders, beyond the immediate neighborhood. Central Asia provides India with the right platform to leverage its political, economic, and cultural connections to play a leading role. See, so when we talk of leveraging political, economic, cultural connections, talk about each of them. Political connections, because these central economies, Asian economies, they want the wider representation in United Nations. They want India's participation. When we talk of economic presence and when we talk of cultural connections, talk about the people to people ties, no? Central Asia, this is where Indian movies are very much popular, right? The historical context of the kind of relationship that India shares with these economies is very good, the culture, right? So can India play a leading role in Eurasian economy? We have to discuss this. So present 4-5 good points that yes, India can. Present the points which are countering this as well, right? So participation of China, presence of Pakistan, the relation with Taliban, all those things can be mentioned as counterpoints. In fact, the inefficiencies in our governance also can be one point to mention, right? So this is how we complete an answer like this. Let me look at what people are talking about here. Hello Ravi. Hi Jyotish. Good evening. Babani says something. Oh, nice. Asim says nice one. Yes, KUT. Yeah, KUT. Yeah, you could remember like this, right? And then Pooja. Sorry, I'm late. No worries, Pooja. All right. So great to have had your participation. You have been silent spectators today. I would also love if you guys participate by conversations. And but yes, of course, since the debate goes very fast, it's good that you participate by listening. If you have questions, please put them down. It'll be great. And do remember, we are only proceeding ahead day by day. So there is less time for you to introspect and think back. Make it a religion of yours. Your karma is a religion. Your religion is not only to participate here. I'll be more than happy if I see some notes from your end, right? So please make some notes at your end for each of the topics. I will tell you, tomorrow I'll show the list of 100 topics that I think are important, and you should be able to judge if you have 5 points in each of them or not, the A deck or not. If you do, proud of you. If you do not, then you also need some extra while. You will need some extra while to put efforts, right, to integrate your preparation. That's all is required, and continue that, right? So Asim says, sir, can we write an answer? Political will, internal politics. How will you elaborate? Internal politics? You'll have, if you get what every point you mention, I think that one should provide an example. So rather than getting into that debate, you can also say that the political will is not very strong as one of the end points. Initial points are far bigger points, right? So we prioritize our points. Political will becomes very low as compared to, yes, absolutely, political will is an important point, but then lesser of political conversations will be even better. Babani, welcome Preeti, welcome Hima, welcome Netra, welcome Ravi. Covered the whole Central Asia at one go. Thank you Ravi. There will be updates about Central Asia. I will keep on providing them in opinions, in editorials, and wherever you write India Central Asia relationship, you will keep on updating those data, those keywords, those kind of cases at that places, right? But for that you have to build a place first, and this is the article that provides that place, right? So please build your notes. Thank you for participation. Share your love through likes, comments, and likes, right? Welcome Ashish. I will see you guys tomorrow evening, right, for the current affairs and then the featured news. Thank you for being a participant.